hello, I didn't see you there. I'm just kidding. Okay. Hey, everybody. Okay. This is the last part. Oh, look, I made a heart. This is the last part of the review. This is where you like bring everything together. This is always the part that's a little bit rough. So our goal here is to figure out what number you could put in for the letter N and still have this be a true statement. And the way it looks like to me, the whole left-hand side of that equation that looks so gross, I just want to make sure it's bigger than 43.7, right? So do you remember me telling you those stories about how sometimes you want to make things as easy as possible before you even start the problem, just to make it easier to understand later? I think the example I gave you guys was a silly one. It was probably either grocery shopping or laundry. Like with the laundry thing, I don't like to go, oh, here's one of Tommy's clean socks. I'm going to go put it away. And then I go upstairs, put it away. And then I go back downstairs and go, oh, here's Tommy's other clean sock. Now I'm going to go put that away, right? I fold all the stuff, I put it into piles, and then I can make the least number of trips up and down my stairs. Until now that we're all home, Tommy can take his own socks up. Okay, so here we go. That whole left side is gross, and we're going to make it look better. And the way we're going to make it look better, honestly, oops, that's my face. I don't want my face. I want that heart. Hi, little heart. I'm going to take this whole left-hand side, put my face back over here. I'm just going to ignore it. That's all right with you. I'm going to look at the left, and I'm going to just simplify it. So the first thing I notice is that there's those parentheses there that are like kind of walling off what's happening, the 2.3 n plus 6. We kind of got to break those down. We got to kiss those parentheses goodbye. I see that everything in the parentheses is being multiplied by 1.9. So we're going to do that. We're going to multiply everything in the parentheses by 1.9. 1.9 times 2.3n. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? I have a cell phone. Let's see. 1.9 times 2.3 is 4.37. So that's 4.37n. And then 1.9 times 6. I know 1.9 is almost 2, and 2 times 6 is 12. 1.9 times 6 is positive 11.4. And then we still have this plus 10.45 to deal with. Okay, so from there, this is the only n in this long addition problem. This guy, though, 11.4 and 10.45, we can put those together. It's just easier to put them together. So when we do add them up, we end up with 21.85. So what I have now on the left-hand side of my inequality is 4.37n plus 21.85 because I put these two things together. And now the left-hand side of the inequality is simplified. We can't add those two terms together because one of them has n as a tail and the other one doesn't have a tail. And you can't add terms together unless their tails are the same. So now I'm going to deal with the other side. Doop. Now I'm going to take this greater than 43.7 and I'm going to bring it down. So the problem that we have to solve now is actually a whole lot easier than the problem that we had at the very beginning. I've got my two sides of the inequality. Just like all the other problems, the first thing I'm going to do is subtract this 21.85 from both sides. Man, they're not giving me easy things to do in my head. This is a 0. That guy, I don't know what it is. 43.7 minus 21.85 is, seriously? It's 21.85. I just did that and it's the same. Let me try one more time. 43.7 minus 21.85 is 21.85. Okay, fine. So now we've got, rewrite our problem, 4.37n is greater than 21.85. We don't flip the sign because all we did was subtract. You only flip when you multiply and divide by a negative. Our last step now is to get that n by itself. Right now it's being multiplied by 4.37. So we're going to divide both sides by 4.37. When I was checking over your homework a couple of days ago, I noticed that some of you, that green 4.37, I noticed some people were writing 4.37n. Be careful about that, because n is the thing that you're trying to get by itself, right? So all I have now on this side is n. It's still greater than, because what we divided by was a positive, and 21.85 divided by 4.37 is 5. N is greater than 5. N is greater than 5. So up here on this number line, the number that's the most important one to have is your boundary number, which in this case is 5. It doesn't matter where it is. The n is the number that we can use in this problem that we're looking for. It just needs to be bigger than 5. It can be 6, it can be 7, it can be 8, it can be 8.5, it can be 100. It can be anything as long as it's bigger than 5. And I'm trying to get as close to 5 as I possibly can without actually touching it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put an open circle on the 5 that says, hey, 5 is the boundary. It can't be 5, but it can be anything bigger than that. Pretty good? Okay, let's do one more, and then we're done with this review. There will be a quiz. The quiz isn't going to be that long, and as long as you try your hardest, you're going to do just fine. That's all I ask of you, is that you're trying. So this problem, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to ignore this because it's causing me problems in my head. And then with the rest of it, we're going to distribute that 4. 4 times negative 2n is negative 8n. Positive times a negative is a negative. 4 times positive 2.5 is positive 10. Minus 8 is still there. And now when we look at this, that n, there's no other term with an n, so that one's done. But positive 10 and negative 8, I mean, come on. We can put those together, right? That would leave us with, if you have a positive 10 and a negative 8, you're left with positive 2. This symbol is still the same. And now the other side, now that I'm ready to deal with it, is 50. Ba-doop boop. Nice job. Okay. Almost done. We've got the left-hand side and the right-hand side. We want to get n by itself. The easiest thing to get rid of right off the bat is any addition and subtraction. So we will subtract 2 to get it to go away, but we better do it to the other side also. And that leaves us with negative 8n is less than or equal to positive 48. Let's see if I can extend the page. Ooh, that was slick. And then to get that n alone, we want to divide by negative 8. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Now, I know that 48 divided by negative 8, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 48 divided by 8 is 6. Over on the other side, I know that these guys cancel out to positive 1. So n is all by itself. And I know, the most important thing is that we just divided by a negative. And when you divide by a negative, this guy needs to flip. So n is greater than or equal to negative 6. N is greater than or equal to negative 6. So we find negative 6 on our number line. It could equal negative 6, so that dot's filled in, or it's going to be bigger. So way back at the beginning of the problem, like here, as long as the number you put in place of this n is negative 6 or bigger, this whole left side of the equation will be less than or equal to 50. At any part of these videos, if I'm going too fast, hit pause until you get caught up. That's the reason why I'm not doing long pauses, because then I figured you could keep up at your own rate. And I sure do miss you. I I miss teaching. I miss having you all in class as much as you make me crazy sometimes. And I'll see you later.